Hello, peoples. What's going on? It's Mr. in the Flesh, TKO here, Travoy, for those of you who don't know. So you're gonna see what I see as I walk to my building. But while I'm here, I'm trying to make this quick because I'll get home shortly. I just wanted to share a quick story with you guys. So I'm coming from a house party. I wasn't there for very long, but shout out to Curtis, aka Pasta Hype, happy birthday. Shout out to Venus, Monroe, Twisted Monroe, Hercules Monroe, and Adonis Monroe, and Charlie, duh, obviously, and Seven. We went to the party for a quick minute. We weren't there for very long. I don't even think we were there for half an hour. But you know how I feel about birthday celebrations. So I figured I would stop through because I was downtown anyways and, you know, celebrate the birthday, the life of another human being, which we know that I love to do. Anyways, quick story. Yesterday, while I was working at a high school, or I was at a high school working, a group of them were in a corner. I was tabling, I was at a mental health fair, and a group of them were in a corner, and they started to say some offensive things, needless to say. The terms that "so gay" was used, and "get out of here, you're a faggot" was used, and none of these terms were directed towards me, the actual faggot. So I took it upon myself to, I don't want to say tattletale, but I guess because I'm an adult, I reported to the person who invited me there, to the school, the high school, to I reported to them that these youth were using offensive language, and I feel that they should be removed from the premises. Premises meaning where I was standing, because that's where they were saying these, you know, offensive terms, or using these offensive terms. And I guess the person who was orchestrating this mental health fair removed them from the room, or from the auditorium, and she came up to me, she said, "I apologize, yada yada, blah 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 blah," and I was very much like, well, you know, it's fine, it's not that serious. They weren't necessarily offending me, I just mentioned it to you because, you know, this is the kind of thing that, you know, you should stop in their tracks. So lo and behold, about maybe 20 minutes later, okay, maybe 30 minutes later, I was sitting down there waiting for the assembly to finish before I could go back into work mode and, you know, talk about where I work and all those other things. And one of the security guards at the school came up to me and said, "Can I speak to you for a minute?" I said, "Can it wait?" And he said, "Yeah, I can wait, but I would prefer if you did it now." I was like, "Okay, sure, not a problem." So I left the auditorium, and he said, "The student that said those offensive things wants to speak to you." And I was like, "Is this a good idea?" And he was like, "Yeah, it's fine, it's not that serious, whatever, whatever, blah, 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 today." So I went into the principal's office with where the student was sitting, with the principal and the security guard that called me over. And long story short, the student, he apologized to me for his comments about homosexuals and using the use of the term faggot and the use of the term "that's so gay." And I mean, I'm not big on apologies because, you know, I hate apologies, but this youth at this high school genuinely felt, or I felt, that he genuinely was apologizing to me because he felt that he offended me and he wanted to make amends because it wasn't his intention. And when he said, "I'm sorry, I didn't mean to offend you, I wasn't using it in an offensive way," I said to him, "Well, the problem is you don't know who's around you to listen to you when you say these things, or who is listening to you when you say these things, so it's better to just not say these things. That way you won't have to offend anyone." And he said, "That makes so much sense." And he shook my hand, and we shook hands, whatever the case was, and he walked, while I left, because, you know, I had to go back to working. And I'm just sharing the story because I think it's funny that you hear these, like, stories all the time about how, oh, you know, you had that one person who you didn't think was going to change their ways, and then all of a sudden they're, you know, not necessarily on the allies team or team ally, but, you know, they understand the repercussions of the things they say and how it affects people around them. And I've never actually had that before. As long as I've been doing my gay work, and as long as I've been a gay person, Other than my family, but they don't really count because, you know, no shade. They still say gay things or offensive things that are offensive to me, but I pay because, you know, whatever, they're never going to learn. No shade. But I just think it was funny that this student, this high school student, that decided that he wanted to apologize to me. I was just like, oh my god, I guess this is what it's like when, you know, you have like, I don't want to call it a success story, but like, I've never had that experience before. It's like, oh my god, this is life changing. And I just wanted to share it with everyone because, you know, very rarely do I have these stories. Usually I'm here to talk about, you know, people, but, and I guess I'm talking about a person now, but this is like a positive story. Either way, all this to say, I think that as ignorant as the straight people are to the fact that, you know, they say these offensive things towards homosexuals and towards the gays and the faggots and whatnot, some of them are still actually just, you know, they're not necessarily ignorant, they just don't know. And once you tell them or have a conversation with them about it, it goes over a lot more positively than just assuming that they're an idiot. Because if you read my statuses yesterday on Facebook and on Twitter and on my BBM, I was very much like, well, high school students are stupid. But this one student, you know, sort of changed my perspective on the whole subject matter, which is kind of cool because, you know, who wants to be an idiot? Anyways, needless to say, I just thought, needless to say, I thought it was interesting that he took it upon himself to apologize, and I found it more interesting that I accepted his apology, because we all know I don't do that either. Anyways, this was just, you know, people who do stupid things sometimes learn lessons, and if you don't teach them, then they'll never learn. So don't be ignorant to the fact that straight people, or some straight people, are not aware of the offensive things they say. It's almost like white people being racist when they say racist things. Sorry. It's almost like white people saying racist things, not knowing that it's racist or offensive or oppressive things, but not knowing, like genuinely not knowing, although, you know, no shade, how can you not know? But it's very possible to not know, truthfully speaking. Anyways, I'm walking to my door now, and 7 minutes in, I didn't think that it would take this long to tell my story. Anyways, I'm home safely, and I hope you all have a good night. Follow me on Twitter at 1-800-TRAVOY, TRAVOY. Hit me up on Facebook at TravoyintheFlesh. And BBM me if you have my BBM, and call me if you have my number, or text me, whatever the case is. Where are my keys? In my pocket again. Nope, not those pockets. Not those pockets. Oh, this pocket. I was like, oh shit. Anyways, shout outs to my radio. Follow me on Twitter at DJ Blackcat. Shout out to all my peoples, because, you know, that's what we do. Anyways, this is me signing off. I'm going home to sleep now because I have to get up in the morning to go to church. So, holla. Last night it was easy.